What is going on? Welcome to Ryan and Brian Talk Sports plus Nick Larson. Already struggling to start the day. As always, we are sponsored by Sleeper Picks. And I'm just in a bad mood overall. I mean, the Eagles got destroyed. It was a bad
We're
day.
just starting, right?
My Chipotle order was messed up. I have to eat during the show. This is just one of those days where, you guys are just lucky I'm here to spew out all my anger. But hopefully you guys have some good picks and you guys can stop me from talking about just how much I kind of hated the weekend. So how you guys doing?
Doing fine, I think.
Sounds like better than you, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm all right.
Right.
I love this show so much because once every like 6 or 7 weeks, I just feel like I have like a shitty time, and I'm just like, all right, let's do this show. I got like my own weird therapy, just yelling at random people.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm kind of excited for the quarterfinals and in-season tourney. I just want to see what this looks like. I wonder a couple weeks, or I don't know exactly how long away it is, but like when the in-season tournament champion occurs, what's that going to look like? How much are we going to care? How much are we going to like celebrate? Will there be confetti? Will there be t-shirts and commercials and shit? So I'm just kind of excited to get along and see what this first in-season tourney looks like. And I guess this is our next step to it. So we got some quarterfinals tonight. So
I
pretty
would
excited.
love it if it's the exact. I would love it if it's the exact opposite of that, Ryan. And then whoever wins, they just get like a nice high five from like Adam Silver, and like
It might be.
or,
Dude.
better
I have
yet,
no idea.
better yet, just Adam Silver comes out, just fist bump, just like a little fist bump, and then it's like congrats, and then they just get their trophy or whatever, like mailed to them. It's not even a ceremony. They just get it mailed to them. Like everyone gets a little thing.
It's a certificate.
Maybe I don't even care. I don't even know. Or yeah, Tone said, "Well, the players care that they want. It makes some money, so I'm sure they'll care at least a little bit."
Some of those fringe guys will care.
Big time.
Oh, so someone in the chat, Raymond said, "I've been in the court for a while. Never knew Brian wore glasses. I usually don't wear glasses. I just on days where I just want to like jump off a cliff. I don't feel like putting contacts in. So
Just so you can see where you're jumping or what?
No, yeah, it's just so I can see. Actually, it's the opposite. It's so I can't see where I'm going. So that way, the likelihood of where I'm on the roof, there's a higher likelihood I fall off. So I did wear my old glasses today, the Clark Kent glasses. So don't normally wear them, but I actually have no shame in just wearing my Clark Kent glasses on this show.
That's just amazing. That's amazing. Well, hey,
take
we got
them
some
off
NFL.
If it makes you uncomfortable, I'll take it off. But
yeah, it does make me a little.
Then I can't read the chat. Never mind. This is a stupid idea. So we got a lot of sports to talk about. Weirdly enough, on this slate, there's only 3 games. Like because you always talk about NBA and NFL. I think everyone, at least NBA fans, I think everyone had like this weird thing where I knew there was 2 games, and even I woke up this morning, I checked the lines on FanDuel, and my first thought was, oh yeah, I guess without a game yesterday, with no games yesterday, it's like you would think there'd be a lot more today, and it's just like, oh yeah, I guess it's just like the 2 games.
Yeah, I'm a little confused because like no games yesterday. I guess that was like saved in case there was like a tiebreaker game needed or something. There's not really days off in the middle of the season except for like
I think
the day that we got to vote and stuff like that.
Like, right, Ryan? Would you agree that players have to like this? They get this weird like 4-day break for some of these guys. Like I think they gotta love that. It's probably good for the league overall.
Especially the teams
are getting. Yeah, 22 teams are getting like an 8-day, or I don't know if it's 8 days. It's probably not even close to that. More like 5-day break. Yeah, not bad. I'm sure they'll come back fresh. Wednesday should be a fun game or a fun day of basketball, or maybe an absolutely atrocious game of basketball where it's all blowouts. We'll see. You never know with this sport.
I mean, they gotta play for the competition here. This should be some good games today, and hopefully it distracts us from the Bengals and Browning coming out here and probably having a stinker of a game. I mean, we all know the Bengals can't play on Monday Night Football, so we'll see how that happens. We'll kick off the NFL first. How many plays do you guys have in this game?
I have one.
Ryan, it was a numbers question, and you looked at me and shrugged. What does that mean?
I have 2, but it's the same idea essentially.
And it's the same as me, so it's really Nick going to be carrying the whole show.
No, I've got 1, and then I'll let you take the other one.
So you want to go first, Nick, and just kick us off?
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's probably on this guy some former fashion. Evan Ingram. I took his reception ladder and I paired it with the Jags money line. I took 4 through 6 on ESPN and then 7 through 9 on FanDuel. He's had 4+ in every game this year, and he's had 7+ in 4 of those games. The Bengals allow the fourth most receptions to opposing tight ends. Um, just he had better odds for at the time I took it for his receptions than his yards. I looked at both, but this was your guy who had the negative reception to kill you, right, Brian?
Classic.
He,
Let's piss
he
him
is
off
going.
even more. I love it.
Let's go Bengals. I hope the Bengals win today. I hope they win. They ruin everything. Evan Ingram gets 4 catches, but the fourth one gets taken back by a flag. I just
That
really,
correction, he actually didn't catch it.
yeah, it comes back later. That was a different tight end. It was
Yeah.
Doug Peterson's son. That's whatever is coming in of the practice squad.
Actually, a real thing, by the way.
I hope Doug Peterson's son gets 8 catches today. Is that the full ladder? You need 8 from Evan Ingram.
9.
9. I hope he gets 9 catches, and Ingram gets 2 catches for -3 yards.
You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish. I was going to take the yards, but then that thought popped into my head, and I used that as motivation to take receptions, and because I knew it has happened before. So it's actually a positive thing.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me the fact that Evan Ingram once had a half this year for 2 catches, -1 yards. That just really pissed me off beyond belief to lose my bet when I needed 1 yard. So I really like that Nick comes out here and he just fuels a fire and then leaves. So that's always nice.
You're already down. We might as well kick you.
Yeah, I talked to Nick earlier too about this day, and I know a lot of people are on Evan Ingram, and it's so hard not to be. I mean, the Bengals try to guard this position group. It's terrible. The Bengals might be worse at guarding tight ends than they are at being a good team overall. They just really struggle overall. And I think the last 5 weeks, I think every single tight end has just destroyed them. Evan Ingram is so talented. I just couldn't find myself to play it because my only worry with it is the Bengals also can't stop their run at all. So if ETN can just get going, I wouldn't be surprised if ETN just has one of those games where he breaks 100 yards because there's just nothing to stop him. That's the only thing I think could really go wrong in that sort of realm, is just too much success other positions.
Yeah, I'm so torn on ETN because I had him last week, and I try not to let prior performances haunt me too much. But it was such a frustrating game, man. So many 1 and 2 yard gains. Then he'd get a little steam, then he'd lose 3. But this feels like the blow up spot. If he didn't have the rib injury, I probably would have already taken his rush attempts and or yards. I haven't committed yet, but it feels like it's such a beautiful spot for him. It's such a beautiful spot for Ingram. So excited to see if the chalk comes through on the Jacksonville side for sure.
Yeah, I decided I was going to bet it in a parlay or something like that, but if they had a free bet or one of those boosts, they didn't. So I just decided to let Nick have a fair shot here. So that way, when he doesn't win this pick, I can't get blamed for it. That's really my.
Speaking of ETN, they have one of those special things that I know you love, Ryan.
What's that? What's
25 rushing yards each half.
Oh, what's the odds on that?
25 rushing yards each half, plus 150.
I know. I know. I've been staring at it all damn day. I probably will take it at some point, to be honest with you.
No, I'm stepping in here. Guys, I'm stepping in here. You got to take that. The Bengals rush defense is fucking shit. You have to take 25 each half.
Yeah. His rush attempts line is 16.5, which he's hitting 7 of 11. Again, he does have the rib injury that made him questionable. There was never really any doubt that he was going to play. There's a very good chance I do take that. I'll try to decide before the end of the show, and I'll let you know what I decide on.
Yeah.
But probably
I just think that the only thing that could stop some of these other props from the Jaguar side of things is that run defense. It's just so bad. It'd be a shame because I've seen a lot of love for even Ridley's getting love or Kirk's getting love, a lot of Ingram love. It just feels like a lot of people could be heartbroken if each just has a game where he just gashes them for 100 yards and they're up 17-0 early and it just gets shot down. The only guy I would have bet would have been Ingram. I do think Ingram just has such a plus matchup, so I like that.
Yeah, doesn't get better than this.
If you are on Ingram, congrats on your win because it was my favorite. I was between 2 plays. I went with a different one. I'm going to take it a little bit and then give it to Ryan.
Hey, thank you for not taking it. That's a big move on your part.
Yeah, I did mine instead of yours.
Fuck. Yeah, it's not a mush thing. All right, I was on. I had mixed him before you, Ryan. So I hope you fall
You
in
did,
a
you
sewer
did, you did.
grate. I hope there's an open sewer grate like by your house and you walk there in the rain and you fall down there. So I hope that really happens to you. I did take Joe Mixon. We're talking about Browning and all this good stuff with the Bengals. It's a -9.5 spread for the Jags. They should have control of this game. And it's one of those things where I got a little bit screwed yesterday with some running back receiving props where guys were in great game scripts and they just did not get the receiving work. Joe Mixon just not really a guy that's going to lose out on his snaps. I mean, they don't really have like another guy that's going to be out to get a lot of passing works. I do think Joe Mixon gets a lot of that, pass protection. So in a game like this, backup quarterback, his reception line's at 3.5. The Jaguars lost 50 yards per game to opposing running backs on the in the air. I just think Mixon's in the spot where you saw him last week have a 39-yard catch and like a 2 or 3 minute drill at the end of the game. Guys like that get those 2-minute drives always really enticing to bet their receiving overs because those 2-minute drives can really make or break these props.
Yeah, I very much like this one. I in fact took it as well. I did it a little differently. This is almost Brian's style, even though he didn't do it today. I took his.
Oh
receptions.
no, he's gonna have 6 catches for 11 yards, isn't he? He's gonna do that.
His reception prop was so valuable, but I couldn't commit to like the 1 unit straight there. So what I did is I went 0.7 yards on his. I'm sorry, 0.7 units on his receiving yards, and I went 0.5 on his receptions, which is plus 150 now on ESPN bet. So I really like the value of both, but I couldn't really decide one or the other. But I mean, Brian made a lot of good points. This one just really this one's very tempting. They allow 7.2 receptions to running backs a game, which is the most in the league, and then they allow almost 50 receiving yards to backs, so which is tops in the league as well. So yeah, Mixon, I really like it. It's my only play for this game as of now. I think I'll add that ETN one, but Mixon receptions for 0.5, Mixon receiving yards for 0.7, 1.2 units risk total here for me. Brian, the damn food.
Dude, I'm sorry.
We're not going to help you with the food, I think. I think when you're eating and it's kind of like silently passed to you.
I keep waiting for you guys to help, but man, this show would be nowhere without Nick and his 3 words per show. But I do think Joe Mixon is one of those guys where he kind of hit the nail on the head there, Ryan. They allow so much volume to running backs. If you give me a backup quarterback that has to, he gets an offense with juggernauts, with guys like Chase and T. Higgins and all these outside weapons. Let the Jaguars deal with those guys and let Mixon just kind of soak up the softer part of the defense.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Last week, now this concern could carry over to this week as well, but I was really close to taking Mixon receptions last week, which would have missed, but his yards did hit, which is another reason kind of why I went with
39-yarder. That was a crazy play too. It was a nice play.
Yeah, he only did have the 2 targets, but the Bengals just got absolutely crushed in time of possession. And granted, that could happen again here, but I don't know. I like this spot a lot.
I'm gonna like jump in a little bit more just to piss you off. I also think it's worth noting that last game was like a 16-10 slow type of Steelers like divisional game. Like this game, I just feel like they're gonna be down in a much more like they're not gonna be in like let's still like establish the offense in the 4th quarter, or like let's still establish the run in the 3rd quarter. It's like this might be a game where it's like holy shit, we're gonna have to somehow score 2 touchdowns fast. So I do think it's gonna be one of those kind of games.
Yeah, Brian, I was really expecting to get a Dearness Johnson prop out of you somehow. But
I thought about it, dude. Dearness Johnson actually, like, he should play, right? Like, I mean, why risk some of these other good players in a game like this where you get the Bengals, who I can't really talk trash because the Eagles had to show yesterday, but Bengals are just. I mean, you could put Tone Stamp out there, and he might make the starting lineup. I mean, it's at that point for this team.
Is that where we're at? I don't know why. I really want to take Jake Browning's passing yards. I didn't think he was like god awful last game. Granted, everything was a short pass, but they should be able to do that again with ease. And man, they have playmakers. They had T. Higgins back. He's more like a vertical threat. I don't see him do too many like crazy line of scrimmage catch and runs, but like I like the weapons around this guy, and obviously they're not going to really be able to run very well, or at least in theory they shouldn't be able to run very well. So something's been calling me to Browning's
Hey,
passing yards all day
300, 300 plus 750.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey Ryan, while you were talking, I didn't really
that'd be
listen. Look at
egregious.
this. Look how cool this is. You see it? It's a little rose. I don't know if you can see it.
Sort of.
Think
Now
of-
that you tell me it's a rose, I know.
Yeah, the little rose ice cube. It's pretty cool. Had to share that. I do think to bring up to more on your point, not hating on Brock Purdy at all, because I think people like to hate on him. He's a great quarterback, but we saw yesterday he threw for 300 some yards. He only had one pass that went over 14 yards of ADOT. So it's not saying you can't rack up yards or ladder a guy like Browning just because he doesn't throw a lot down the field. You give him guys like Chase, Mixon, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, like a lot of these guys can make plays after the catch. So the yak ability is there. So I do think even if you're getting these lower 10-yard ADOT type targets, it's not going to stop them from having a good day on the ground or on the air.
Yeah, Tone said that he misses a lot of open receivers. I'm not surprised by that at all. Maybe another week does him, some justice. I thought, I've seen a lot of horrible quarterbacks play football this year. He didn't look horrible, I guess is all I can say. I won't really compliment the guy,
Glowing
but
recommendation from Ryan.
He's not like
He looked
he's not like
serviceable.
oil level.
Yeah, he was like serviceable. He's not gonna he might get you embarrassed, but he probably won't. I don't know. It's interesting. Somebody mentioned, what do we think about Mixon? Oh, go ahead.
70 receiving / rush yards. Yeah. Not to be beating a dead horse. I just think the only worry I have with the rushing part of it is kind of what we talked about is I just would be more shocked than ever if this was like a really competitive close game where they're going to be able to run their offense all 4 quarters. And the Jaguars stopped the run at a very well rate. So that's my only worry.
Best in the league.
I'm gonna step in here and say I'm pretty sure Mixon had like 5 yards against the Steelers last week, and yeah, the Steelers obviously
16 yards.
Yeah, 16 yards. Very stout Steelers defense, but the problem is this has been happening with him for most of the year. The rushing has not been successful.
I would go to say the last few years. I feel like Mixon's always good for some of those games where you look at him and you're like, what the hell happened? He had 12 carries for 23 yards. I think
part of it in previous years has been obviously the porous offensive line. This line isn't as bad as those years, but it's the real problem is that there's no other running backs to help him out. He's on there for what seems like all 3 downs every single time, and he's gassed.
Yeah, that's why you got to give him space on these screenplays. That's why you got to get him, you got to create space for him and just let him go that direction. So that would be nice to see. So I think we kind of covered our 2 spots that we really like in this game and mentioned a plus 150 FanDuel game special. Moving on to the NBA, unless you guys have any more. Oh, wait, damn it.
Hey,
first
what are you
touchdown
doing
score.
here?
First touchdown score. Once
Today's
again,
the day.
How many weeks
I
have you
think
been
it's-
doing this, man?
I think it's the third. It's the fourth time, I think.
This is
I
the
think
first
it's-
time. Actually, this is the first time we've done this.
No, I'm keeping track. And I think it's important to say that we're not even collective 12. We are 0-12 on 3 games. It's like one day to be 0-12 if you take 12 separate games. That means for 3 primetime games, we have had 4 guesses in the same game, and
That's
no
right.
one's locked it down.
That's right.
That is impressive.
Think how valuable
But,
that is.
yes,
That we've eliminated all those
DeSantis-
people.
Today's
Yeah.
the day. Today's the day.
Maybe this week we all get it right. Maybe we all pick a different person, but we also, I don't know how that works. That was a stupid comment. I'm gonna read the odds here, and we're just gonna go down the line. We'll figure out the order after I read these because I never really have an order set up. But let me see here on popular. We have
Today's the day.
today is the day. So the short shot is Travis Etienne at 5-1. Calvin Ridley's plus 775. That's interesting. Christian Kirk is plus 850. Joe Mixon 10-1. Evan Ingram 11-1. Jamar Chase 13-1. Zay Jones 14-1. Trevor Lawrence 16-1. Jarius Johnson 20-1. It's the same odds as T. Higgins at 20-1, which is interesting, but Higgins might be limited. And then we have Tank Bigsby 30-1 and Tyler Boyd 30-1. And I'll go one more just to shout out Tanner Hudson at 38-1. But those are what we're looking at here.
He just got called out in the chat too.
Yeah. Wow. So
I don't like the value
Tanner
of
Hudson,
that, by the way.
four receptions at plus 170. One of them being
270.
the first touchdown scorer. So I
There you
think
go.
that's even better. Who wants to go first? I think last week who went first? Was it? I forget. I don't have it in front of me. You know what, Nick, you get the first choice. You're gonna need all the help you can get. So yeah, you can get the first choice.
You guys have hit so many of these. You should give me an advantage.
Yeah, because we've been doing so well. So I want to give you a chance to catch up here.
That. So I never bet first touchdown unless I'm on these shows. I've hit one first touchdown. It was last year on a show, Jaguars game. So I'm gonna have to run it back. Trevor Lawrence was my pick. So
nice.
I'm gonna run.
I like that.
Trevor
16-1
Lawrence.
T-Law. All right.
T-Law it is.
Bad pick, but I like it. I only say these things because I really want Nick or someone to win one, and I get the soundbite where I could just be shitting on the pick and then have to like be able to post it and kind of self roast myself. So
the dreams are made out of right there.
Who wants to go next? Does anyone have a guy that they're jonesing to do?
I think it would be right if we let Tone go next due to his misery as a Bengals fan. I think it's the right thing to do.
I gotta go the disgusting chalk here. I'll take ETN. I just don't see the run defense stopping him. He'll probably bust off like a 30-yard run to the end zone on the first drive.
He's taking the 5-1, and at this rate, a 5-1 would easily put him in the league. That might set him up for the entire season. Like if you just
might do it right.
5-1. Yeah.
The whole that some people in the chat are like asking like us with question marks. I don't think we're your guys, pal. I don't know if this
what you want to do is just eliminate everyone we've said, and then you can go from there.
Exactly. We're just doing this to let you guys know who to not take.
We talk about each week. I think the fun part about it is exactly what I was saying is you can make a case for anyone to score first, but it can be such a random prop at times that, like I said, it's almost telling how weird it is that 3 times 4 different guys in the game didn't score first when we were picking them. It's just I don't think it's really a discredit to some of us. I just think sometimes it's such a random prop that when that fullback that hasn't played since 2017 gets that draw play randomly and scores first from the 1 yard line, it's tough to cap that kind of stuff. So we do have ETN 5-1. Ryan, I'll give it to you because last week I did take your pick and I felt bad about it because it helped me out so much to take your pick.
Sure did, didn't it? I'm gonna go Jamar Chase here. I like Chase, man. Browning and him, they're doing okay together. It's not pretty. They've played 5 quarters together. They have 80-something yards and a touchdown. Granted, it was a 2-yard touchdown, but no reason you can't throw a 2-yard touchdown again here. I like those odds for arguably the best talent.
13-1.
Yeah, 13-1 for probably the best offensive player in the game.
And for the best offense in the game too, with the Cincinnati Bengals. So I like that move for you, just because I do think you get extra juice on these top players if you bet on the underdog, just because they just have less implied scoring, so it helps you out a little bit. I'm gonna ride with the chat here. I can't believe no one took the guy I was clearly gonna take the entire game. Give me Evan Ingram, 11-1. He's gonna catch a 3-yard touchdown and then proceed to end the game with -2 yards. I don't know how it's gonna end up that way, but it's gonna work out. He's gonna catch the first touchdown. He does not score often, but he does have decent red zone targets, and this is just a matchup where if it's not ETN that sets him up and scores on the poorest defense, it should be him. So if they get inside the 15, I like it a lot. Let them stack the box.
I like you said he doesn't score often. He doesn't even have a touchdown this year. Not to say he can't score, but I like how we just navigate around. Like
I do this
hasn't
thing.
scored, it's that he doesn't score often. That's good,
I do this
man.
thing
That's
where I try to like make it sound better than it is. It's like, oh yeah, he's had a rough go of it.
We all do it, man. We all do it.
Yeah, but if there's ever a matchup to get a guy like him a touchdown first of the year, it's got to be against this god awful, terrible, shitty excuse of a defense from the Bengals. I'm just trying to see if Tone Step's getting. I guess he's just at the point of the season where he's done with the season. He didn't care anymore.
Yeah. I mean, nothing you're saying.
You're talking about the Eagles when you're going on there.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
To be fair, Ingram was wide open last week and got the target in the end zone, and somehow Lawrence sailed it over his head from not that far out. Just a horrible throw. So I actually felt really bad for Evan at that time. It definitely should have been touchdown number 1. So it is coming.
I also benched Ingram in fantasy this week in my dynasty league, so he's definitely going to score at least a few touchdowns.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been productive.
I did bench
not
him for Sam Laporta though, and I just a quick shout out to my guy Sam Laporta, favorite player in the league right now. He's so fun. He's awesome. But now we can kick it off to the IST, the in-season tournament games in the NBA. There's 2 of them. They should be good games. It's kind of weird to think about the Pacers and Celtics, quote unquote, being a good game, but the Pacers have been really fun to watch. They do a lot of things right. They just play at such a high pace that even these teams, these stellar defensive teams, you saw with the Heat, they put you in weird positions because they play at such a fast pace, but they're efficient with it. So the over-under in this game is 246. The Celtics are -5.5 favorites. The other game, the Pelicans and the King, that's 238. So there should be a lot of scoring today. As someone that's been betting unders a lot more, shout out to Nikola Vucevic on Saturday, who just scored 6 points in the first 3 minutes. It didn't score the rest of the game. There's nothing better than having an under like that, where you just get a lot of things in the chat. You double down on it because he's terrible at basketball and he didn't score the rest of the game. This is one where, like I said, it's hard to take unders in these kind of games. You have to assume they're going to be playing a little bit extra minutes in these tournament games. Plus, the defense should be a little bit, what do I want to say, shoddy. Just a lot of points should be scored here. How many plays do you guys have on the slate? 3? Oh, I love that.
4.
Ryan, how 4? You guys take it because I actually didn't really take too much NBA time today. I was too busy being depressed. So,
Nick, you want to get us going, man?
Yeah, start off with Brian's favorite, the Applebee's 2 for 20. We've got Jaylen Brown and Brandon Ingram each to score 20 points, right at +100 even money. Exactly like you said, should be high-scoring games tonight. Both guys can put up. I mean, both guys could score 30, but taking 20, both line. I think Ingram's line dropped a little bit, but Jaylen Brown's was like at 25.5 or something like that. So
I like the pivot there for Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown has a great matchup, and I think about he's just one of those guys where everyone's on Tatum today. I actually like Tatum today, but I don't know if you saw his line move like 3 whole points throughout the day. It's at 31.5. It's just too high. Right. I think a guy like Jaylen Brown gets forgot about sometimes in an offense that just clicks so much.
Yeah, like it. I have kind of an off the wall one here. I woke up this morning and just kind of had a little bit of a gut feeling, and this just kind of fits the Pacers mold very well. Granted, these lines have moved a little bit. I'm kind of pulling it up here on the side, but what I did is I took the total and said, "Fuck like the baseline total," and I went straight to alts.
You're playing totals today.
I went straight to the alts, and I went
for this?
Yeah, I did 250.5, 250.5. Odds are actually kind of shot here. I got it at +200. It's +136 now. I still like it. I think this is gonna be a really fun bet. And then I also took 159.5, which is now +290. I had it at +500. I should have checked this earlier. It's not the greatest odds.
We appreciate Ryan props for always being really prepared on this show and just always be like, yeah, I bet this prop on Tuesday. It's moved 38 yards, so it's not like I still like it where it's at, but it's
yeah. Anyway, I think this game is gonna be super exciting. They faced off once this season. Boston dropped 155. The Pacers had 104, and that was without Halliburton. I think we can expect a little bit less out of Boston. I think we can expect a little bit more out of Indiana. But this just feels like an absolute like explosion spot for Boston. Now it's kind of funny because Indiana allows the first fewest, I guess I could just say the fewest 3-pointers made. But last time they faced Boston, they gave up 20. So like, I don't really care. They do allow the worst 3-point percentage of makes though. So and then Boston is second in the league in attempts from deep at 42.8. So this just feels like a time that they're just set to explode. If Indiana does run them off the line, they'll just go to the paint and score with ease there. I think we get 135 to 140 points from Boston alone. And then now with Halliburton back, this Boston team isn't really the same defense as it has been. We're not counting the Bulls game. I don't care about the Bulls scoring 97 because they're just not a real team. But the prior 5 games, not counting that, 119 to Philly, 113 to Atlanta, 113 to Orlando, 116 to Milwaukee, 121 to Charlotte. So they're giving up points. I mean, there's 115 plus pretty much to all these teams. And then if you factor in the fact that the Pacers are number one in pace, they're number one in offensive efficiency. They're shooting like 52% this year as a team, while averaging, I think, the most field goal attempts per game. So this team is really dangerous. It's obviously way more dangerous when Hallie is in. He isn't actually confirmed in, but I'm not too concerned about him missing this game over an illness. So I don't know. I thought this game was set to be an explosion. Obviously, the odds aren't quite as good. I still think it'll be a really fun prop to track, and B, this value is still, it's still good enough for me to take. What I did is I put 0.7 on 250.5, and I put 0.3 on 259.5. I think this has 138 to 132 written all over here.
What are your thoughts?
No, you go, Nick. No, please.
What are your thoughts on the Halliburton Holiday / White matchup? Do you think it helps his assist? Do you think he'll still be able to score? Or what do you think with that matchup?
If I had Halliburton props, I would take his points. Actually, I don't really love his assist. If I'm kind of doing a little bit of line reading plus anticipation of how I think they guard him. He's averaging like 11.8 assists, and they set his line at 10.5. That's no mistake. Boston is second fewest assists allowed, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. And we've seen, I watch them all the time in the playoffs, and they kick the shit out of my favorite team. So I know how their defense plays in these higher intensity games. They're not going to like double or trap, or I don't anticipate them to. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but I don't anticipate any doubles or traps. I say they go one-on-one with Halliburton and try to make Halliburton beat them. Hence why I would lean points over assists. And with that, you kind of start to think like, well, guys are super dependent on Halliburton setting them up, like guys like Obi Toppin. Like I've gotten a lot of questions about his points. I'm not a huge guy of pointing to the under. I'd almost rather fade it than play the under because I'm just stubborn. I know that's kind of stupid, but I've been profitable enough with the overs to kind of stick with what I do. But like Obi Toppin screams a guy like it's a really tough paint defense in Boston, and then he's so reliant on Halliburton getting trapped, and then they play 4-on-3 with the best point guard in the best passing point guard in the league, setting him up for open shots. So like this feels like a disaster spot for guys like Obi Toppin and stuff like that. Whereas like Aaron Nesmith, I think guards Tatum a little bit better. Revenge angle. So I've been intrigued by Nesmith today. I don't know if he has props out, but I'm kind of curious to see where they set him. I think he has maybe some ladder potential.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that, and I'm glad you kind of mentioned your one point where you mentioned
weird tangent. Sorry,
they don't allow a lot of threes, but it's the Pacers that could also just be attributed to why settle for a contested three if you can just attack like Miles Turner in the paint and probably just get 2 points or get hacked. It's just one of those teams where it's very easy to guard to attack their defense in multiple ways. Yeah. Nick, do you want to give us another one of your fabulous plays?
Yes, I will go to, speaking of 3-pointers, just a long shot here. Bruce Brown to have 3 threes and Brandon Ingram to have 3 threes. Odds have dropped some, but it was plus 37.50.
Is there no cool name for this one? Is it not like the
I haven't
Cracker Jack type
I haven't had anybody reach out about this one yet. It's kind of new. It's in the testing phase, so
like the Long John Silver 3-point whatever.
Right,
you don't have you don't have something cool for it.
There you go. You just named it right there.
But yeah, Nick and Allen hit like a 50-1 this week on a 2-legger. It was PJ and who?
PJ and Cam Thomas.
Yeah, PJ Tucker, right?
Yes.
There you go. You know it.
He's had 0 points. Ingram has had a game of 5 already this year against the Kings, and in the up and down game with the Celtics and Pacers, Bruce Brown's capable of hitting 3 threes in a game. He had 4 last game, so 3 isn't too much to ask for either. I'm most worried about Ingram. Some games he just doesn't shoot them. If he can, he's got that kind of Chris Middleton type jump shot game some games. So we'll see. But for those odds, I'm going to take a chance on that one.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Ryan, do you want to get one more, or do you want me to hop in with this? I'm going to hop in. I thought you would let me go. I did one play here, but I actually did like a tiny ladder, like the littlest one. I did like a full unit on something that's plus 114.
Baby steps.
And then I did 0.1 unit on it, like the next ladder up. And my thinking is that at plus 114, if I win the original one and I lose the other one, at least I still get like a 1.04 profit or whatever you want to say it. Like it's good odds for what it is. But I took Jonas Valanciunas 12 plus points parlayed with CJ McCollum 4 assists, and then that was plus 114. And then the next ladder up was 14 points and 5 assists, which is plus 235 on ESPN bet.
Look at this man go.
Yeah, I'll say this.
Chills over
New
here.
guy.
I'll say this. Great odds. I mean, it's plus money still in like books like MGM or DraftKings, but I just like the odds of this a lot. And I wanted to play Valanciunas in some way. I saw some people on Twitter taking the under. I get it. He has a tendency to be an idiot and like foul or like not have stable minutes, but this year he's kind of getting stable minutes. He's playing 30 or so minutes a night for the most part. And the last 3 games he has had 5 fouls. He got 2 or 3 of them in the fourth quarter. So it's almost like misconstrued to see him at 5 fouls in a game, like the Sixers game, because he had 3 of those in the fourth quarter. Your fouls are less important if you can save them to the end. So he's actually been a little bit better at keeping his hands to himself. He's had this matchup twice. He hit it in one of these games. I just think with how poor the Kings are in the interior and CJ McCollum back, when CJ and Valanciunas share the court, his points per 36 go up like 1.5, and he actually gets the most passes. Like a nerd stat here, 23% of CJ McCollum's passes go to Valanciunas. So
Interesting.
it's a good one of those correlation things where if CJ is not diming, I don't know if Valanciunas is going to put up 12 points or whatever it is on just offensive rebounds. Like he's not going to be off the dribble. So I just think that it's going to be one of those games where CJ will be feeding him inside. There's just not good enough interior defense. I think he hits this. So I like the odds plus 114 and plus 235. So give me CJ McCollum to be dishing a little bit to the big guy down low.
My man's feeling dangerous today. I love it.
Yeah, I'll be texting you guys. I'll be texting you guys in the group chat later when Valanciunas has 4 points in the entire game. McCollum has a triple double, and I'm just sitting here just like pissed the fuck off. Like
it's going to be electric when there's 9 minutes left in the third quarter and they take out Jonas and never put him back in the game.
Yeah, it's weird because I actually I don't know how to do it better, but I actually manually look back at some of the play-by-plays. He's closed out almost every game recently. It's weird because that's my biggest fear with backing a guy like him. Yeah. But this season, he's gotten more respect. Where they're not yanking him as fast as they usually are in years past.
Yeah, but they had Jackson Hayes behind him, who was a pretty respectful backup. And when they lost him to LA, I couldn't even actually tell you.
I guess they just have to accept that he's fine and he has to he has to exist a little bit longer. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. My next look, we're gonna go over back to the first game and look at Drew Holiday. I actually took Drew Holiday's rebounds plus assist. And then I sprinkled on his double-double. So best odds are minus 106 for his RA on FanDuel. And then double-double, MGM's actually put out the best line at plus 450. I took it at FanDuel at 430. This is a pace-related prop, similar to the total one that I went with earlier. And another one I like without Kristaps Porzingis in the lineup. Should see good minutes here. He's had 33, 33, and 35 minutes in the in-season tourney games. Without Porzingis in the 3 games, he's played 35, 33, and 35 minutes. I think he has a chance to either go crazy with one or the other. If he goes crazy with both, that sounds awesome. I think probably a little bit better of a chance that he goes crazy with rebounds, but nonetheless, I like both. In games without Porzingis, I combined rebound plus assist chances, but in the 3 games, he's had 24, 24, and 17 rebound plus assist chances. He's hit the RA in 2 out of 3, and the lone miss was on the hook where he had 11. And then he had 1 double-double in those 3 games, and the other one, he missed a double-double by 1 assist. So I kind of like the potential at 430 in a matchup like this. He leads the Celtics in potential assists and converts 57% of his assist chances. He also surprisingly leads them in rebound chances, which is kind of crazy, which he converts a fairly low percentage of them, but still 54% is pretty solid for a guard that leads a team in rebound chances. So I thought he had a bit of a chance to explode. I think if I had to call my shot, I think he gets 10 rebounds in this game, and that's how he gets his double-double, which, he won't really even need a lot of assists at that point once he pulls that off, assuming if that, comes true. So Drew Holiday, RA, and then a sprinkle on his double-double.
I like that. I think it's interesting that Drew Holiday is now a Celtic, where you see some of these lines where last season a double-double for him was as low as, like 150 to 1, or I mean 150 plus 150. Like they were just so, like his role is just so different in this team. But
big time.
Dude, exactly what you're saying. Like every time I look at his lines, I just picture him in a Bucks uniform, and I was like, is this right, or is this the right line?
Yeah, no, it's rough. Toad Sam said my catchphrase of the show is I like that. I'm just being supportive. It's a classic. I'm in class. You didn't listen to anything, and you're like, yeah, I agree. Like that sounds good. And it's like you agree that Adolf Hitler was. It's like, oh shit, I was not listening to the. I was not listening to the lesson at all. But it's one of those things where hopefully it never comes back to bite me in the ass. But yeah, it's like we were saying, it's one of those things where it's tough to think of how low some of his lines are. Because I remember playing him last year over 13.5, and the juice you had to like drink it to like minus 135. So definitely a different role. But in a game like this, there's just gonna be so much pace that give Ryan a lot of those. I'm going to grab the rebound and push the pace right away. So those are the best RA teams to attack. As a guy like the Pacers, where if they decide to let Drew run the break, he'll get a lot more uncontested rebounds, and he can run the pace, give him an alley oop or something like that. Like that, you have 2 RA in like 3 seconds.
Sounds beautiful.
Both of your guys' plays here feed into the old Wendy's 4 for 4. So
nice.
We've got Drew Holiday 4 rebounds, Derek White 4 assists, CJ McCollum 4 assists, and De'Aaron Fox 4 assists.
You look at
that. McCollum's gonna have 3 dimes.
Hey, we're clearing these. We haven't had this blow up yet. So.
He's gonna have 3 dimes in the first quarter, and then drop 40 the rest of the game and get not a single fourth one. It's gonna piss me off. Good play, I guess. Whatever.
No. There you go. It's better than I like it again. Brian had to switch.
Yeah, it's a different response.
Yeah. No, that's
kind of refreshing.
I think 1-1-1's a good omen, right? Isn't that how that works? It feels like a good omen there. Should be fine.
Good deal. Nick,
did that finish you up?
Let me check. Yes, that was my last one.
Gotcha.
I think these plays have been really good on the show too. The Wendy's have come in clutch a lot. I think
I
should start going to Wendy's more often. There's a Wendy's by my house. It's an old bank that was turned into a Wendy's, so it looks kind of like a prison, but it's still a good time. It's a good time. I'll go the next time, so that way when I interrupt the show with food, I'll have like a chicken sandwich, so that way at least fits into the theme.
Beautiful, absolutely love it.
Ryan, do you have another a play here?
Yeah, I got 2 more, but I don't want to say false information, but I'm pretty sure that Nick has never lost a Wendy's 4-4 play.
He just did.
Hey, really putting it to the test tonight. Hey, guess what? You could also say I've never won a first touchdown play. So, hey.
That's also
but
fair.
Tonight is.
But we're not going to help. We're not going to help you out here. Is your full name Nicholas? Is it? Can I want to start calling you Nicholas when I get pissed off at you. I think it kind of seems to piss you off. Would that piss you off?
No.
You look pretty pissed off right now.
He's steaming a little bit. That's okay.
I could just see the stress ball under the table just getting squeezed right now. But
that's awesome. All right, I did something that I would very rarely do. I actually took 2 teammates' points. And I laddered both of them, sort of. I'll explain later. I'll start with the low volume.
What's the odd? Is it a parlay? Are you going to get
No, it's not a parlay.
Crazy odds.
No, this is 2 separate plays. So the first one is Herb Jones. So I really liked his 9.5. I thought his 15 plus was really good odds as well. And I've seen Trey Murphy floating around a lot. I really love Trey Murphy. He's one of my favorite non-Sixers. I wouldn't even really say to let this scare you away from your Trey Murphy bets.
Player.
But he's just so fun. I watched him a lot in college, even though I don't like his team in college. He was just a fun guy to watch. I like shooters. He won me a lot of money last year. So I got my reasons. But, I don't say this to have it scare you off your Trey Murphy bets if you have those already locked in. I really like both guys in this game, but I did make a pivot to Herb here. I do like that his minutes are consistent. We still don't really know what kind of minutes we'll see from Murphy. You can probably anticipate it climbing up a little bit, but I don't really think he eats too heavily into Herb's role. Herb is I call him Herb. I don't know why. I guess it is Herb, not Herb, right? Herb
I think it's.
food,
I
right?
think I don't think he was named after an herb. Like I don't think that's. Is that really like, your worry? Are you concerned about how you're pronouncing Herb
I,
Jones?
I, I said it. I said it, and it felt a
Herb
little
Jones.
funky.
Is that really what you're
I
He said
said.
concerned
it
I
so
with?
many
think.
times he's psyching himself out.
This might be our last
I
show.
think I
If
did
that's your
psych myself
concern.
out.
Your
That's
concern
fun.
is Herb Jones.
I think. Yeah, we're gonna call him Herb Jones from here on out.
I like
Herb
Herb Jones.
He's played one game with Trey back. He still got 31 points and had 17 points in that game. He's averaging 11.8 a game this year. He is a low volume guy. Really only anticipate maybe a max of 10 shots here, but it's pretty easy to pinpoint when he's going to score. He's a slasher that does well versus weak paint defenses that foul often. So entering Sacramento, who allows 52 points in the paint and 24 free throws every game. So this feels like a nice spot for him. Also, I do get, if you did want to get concerned about his minutes here, he's got to guard De'Aaron Fox, who he's done really well against 2 times so far. So I don't really worry about his minutes. He might be one of the best on-ball defenders in the entire league. McDaniel's over in Minnesota, he's Herb is up there. Herb is probably right there, or Herb Jones is probably right there as well. So I think the Fox assignment alone keeps him on the floor a lot in this game. I mentioned earlier he's faced Sacramento twice. He's done a pretty good job on Fox in both games. He dropped 18 in one of those games too, which is really encouraging in 27 minutes, which is a blowout. The other one he played pretty poorly, or at least he shot poorly. He had 7 points, but he still played 39 minutes. So he's going to be on the floor. We're going to have our chances. This is kind of like an Herb Jones environment here where he can get out and run a little bit, attack the rim, which is something he's good at. Again, he's going to be a little lower volume. I'm only anticipating 10 shots, and hopefully he could be really Herbert. Sorry, short for Herbert. Saying
Dude,
right
everyone's gonna think you're stupid as hell now. Like,
I'm
you set
stupid as
yourself
hell.
up.
That's perfectly fine.
I got a next level dad joke for you though, Ryan. If you're on Herb Jones, how many times will he hit a 3? Right? Isn't that good? That's a good one, right?
Nick had it right. I psyched
like that.
myself out, but I think I'm just
I
going to
like
call
that.
him Herbert. In fact, I like Herbert even more.
Herbert.
Than
Times that is a herb, right? I think it is. I think it's like a oregano
Yeah.
thyme.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
good.
killing it over there. Now, again, I did purposefully mention low volume a few times because there was also a superstar on this team that I liked very much, and I actually dabbled a lot in all 3 of CJ, BI, and Zion, trying to decide who I liked the most. My initial read was Zion. Then, I kind of let my mind wander a little too far, licked myself in the mirror, smacked myself in the face real quick, reverted right back to Zion. I'm going with the Zion ladder. He's 24.5 on ESPN. I took him for 30 and 35 as well. A lot of the same things that I said for Herbert Jones apply here. It's a weak paint defense that allows a lot of free throws, which is, that's just Zion's time. So it's a dream scenario. It's a dream matchup for him. He played really well in both of the games that they've faced off against in mid-November. He hit over 25 and over 24.5 in both games. He did not climb in either game, but I think I'm kind of intrigued here. Now that CJ's back, I get a little frustrated watching Zion sometimes because he's just so passive. Like that Sixers game where he tore him up for 33 points. He only took like 11 shots and he was not missing. That man could have gone for 50 so easily. But like you kind of have to appreciate it as well because he was just dishing to open shots all game long. So he was really tearing it up. I'm kind of hoping CJ McCollum's return here will take off the distributing role from Zion and just kind of let him do his thing and score some more. So we'll see. Somebody mentioned Herbert Jones 2 steals. I looked at that a lot. I like that a whole lot as well. I've
Big
never
Herbert
played
fan.
a defensive prop ever, but if I did, that would be one.
Big
So yeah,
Herbert fans here.
What's that?
It's a big Herbert Jones fans here.
Huge Herbert fans, yes. And last little thing for the Kings, they do allow a high percentage of makes from the 3-point line, but they only allow 31.9 attempts, which is 5th lowest in the league. So they run you off the perimeter pretty successfully, and I don't know. This just feels like a Zion spot right here to me. So I went ahead and stuck with my initial read on this game.
I like that. I think if anyone knows that there's a picture of like Herbert Jones doing like an ice in the vein type celebration, I want that picture so I can make an edit with cool mint around him. Like I want to make this whole thing where I need like a Kevin
Jones.
Harlan. I need like a Kevin Harlan Herb joke when he makes a 3 or something like that. Like how it was like, oh, with the salt. Like it was like any one of those like an herb. It's like That'd be really funny.
I love it.
appreciate all
I
that.
think
Do you
this
guys
will
want to
live
try?
on for a long time.
Do you guys want to try to build a parlay before the last few minutes, or do you want to just jump to our recap as we end the show because it's only 6 o'clock?
We're not pussies here. Let's put together a parlay.
I just know Tones.
We don't need an hour.
Hard cutoff at 6 o'clock because he has got so much else going on in his life.
Yeah, I do not. That's a lie.
He's got so many other things to do and people to see and herbs to plant, but I do appreciate that we can still do this. Do you guys want to do a cross sport type parlay here? We can do a little bit from the NFL game and the NBA games. Do you want to just like water down some of our favorite picks and then call it a parlay?
I want Jake Browning fucking passing yards, damn it. I want to include
300
somehow. I'm gonna do 225. I'm not even taking his base. I'm taking 225 at plus 114 or whatever.
So that's the first leg. We're just gonna go first leg plus 114, 225.
Damn right.
Okay. My leg is I want to take Browning under 16.5 passing yards. So that's gonna be a little awkward for our builder.
A little negative correlation play. I like it.
Yeah, a little negative correlation play. That's just called donating to the book right there. So we'll do that. We will add. I think Nicholas wanted to bring in Evan Ingram, so we can do 40 plus yards from him.
Yep.
Actually, would you rather the 4+ receptions? I forgot you can do that now on FanDuel. That's a thing you can do.
What are the odds difference on that?
The 40 plus yards is minus 205. 4+ receptions would be minus 390. So basically the same juice.
We're going yards.
Going yards.
40 yards.
Although I will say it's already plus 160 if you do the 4 receptions, thanks to Ryan's fucking 225.
I didn't know we were gonna water down stuff. I don't do the watering down, man.
Wait, Brian, what's your play?
Ryan,
did you make a play?
I don't have one yet.
Okay,
I don't have one
okay.
yet. I'm just commenting on Ryan's bullshit. All right, fine. Then Deborah, you have the ladder for Ingram. So how about 6+ catches? How about that?
That's fine.
No watering
No
down.
water down.
Yeah, we'll do 5. We'll do the actual line for you. We'll do 5, and then Joe Mixon. We'll do his. Let's see. Where is his receiving yards? They're scared to list this on FanDuel. They don't have like a ladder option for them.
Yeah.
They're horrified.
I was gonna add 60, but I guess we'll. All right, we'll go 3 receptions from then. 3 receptions, cool. And then we're taking too long here, so I'm going to write to the NBA. Just real quick, first game, we're going to do 5 legs. First game, this gets the legs. Someone just shout out the first thing they like. Sorry, okay, don't jump all at once.
I'm pulling it up. Holiday
rebounds. All right, get fucked, Ryan. So holiday rebounds, 6+ works. Cool. I think that's his line, I guess.
Yep, sounds
6+.
good.
All right, and then Ryan, you get the Pelicans game then.
Oh, shit.
Actually, you know what? No, I get to take the Pelicans game because I'm the only one that didn't have it on the original. So I'll do the 12+ for Jonas Valanciunas.
Okay.
That makes it 10-1. I mean, it's plus 10 plus like what? It's like plus 1,030, so like 10-1 ish for 5 legs.
Oh wait, sorry. Right. All right, I have it up here. We take Ingram 40 yards or Ingram 6 receptions?
5. I did 5 receptions.
5 receptions. Sorry, I put 6. I gotta go change that.
Yeah, we'll share this slip in the Discord. We were not very organized for this because we're trying to rush, but
don't ever plan on it to be organized though.
Browning 225+, Mixon 3 receptions, Ingram 5 receptions, and then NBA side we have Valanciunas 12+ points, Drew Holiday 6+ rebounds. It's 10-1 on FanDuel. I will shop other lines when we get off the show to make sure, but FanDuel's just a lot easier for parlays for our Discord because you can share the slip. So shout out to them, but we will check other books and make sure.
One more time.
Oh, this guy again.
Yeah. No. I want to make sure I got it right for the viewers. I care about the viewers, unlike some people on this show. I got Brown 225 yards, 3 receptions for Mixon. Drew Holiday over 6.5 rebounds. Valanciunas over 5.5 or 9.
Just 6.
Just 6. 6+.
The goal. I feel like the goal for these guys
just took a straight line.
You gotta try to get. You gotta try to just get it. Get it to 10-1 because anything lower than that, it's not even cool.
That's right.
Agreed. Though if you take the 6.5, we got 1489. If you take his normal line. No, we'll take the 6. We'll take the 6.
So if you bet this, $569 wins you $5,886.25.
What more do you even need?
I don't. That's a 5.5 unit play there for me. So
There you go.
You must really like this play.
As soon as Jake Browning got involved, Brian knew he was going to drop some guap on this.
yeah. For some reason, I guess because I don't bet a lot of parlays on this FanDuel account I have. It's a fresh little account. My like limit is like $6,000 on this. That's so funny because I guess they're just so not used to my betting habits where I usually just the straights. So my limits on this is crazy. They're fiending for me to give some money back. So
Yeah.
I guess
sure.
I'll just max whale this and then be complaining 3 minutes in when Mixon leaves with a toe injury. So I think this would be a fun time. Do you guys want to recap real quick our plays? I only have the
Certainly.
2, so I'll go real quick. Jonas Valanciunas, 12 plus points, parlayed with CJ McCollum, 4 plus assists. It was plus 114 on ESPN bet. And unlike Ryan, I did check the odds before the show. It did move a little bit, but still was plus 110 when I got it. And then I took a little ladder for 0.1 unit of Valanciunas, 14 plus points with McCollum, 5 plus assists. NFL, I took Joe Mixon over 18.5 receiving yards.
Beautiful. Nick, go ahead, my friend.
For NFL, I have Evan Ingram reception ladder paired with Jags money line, 4 through 6 on ESPN, 7 through 9 on FanDuel. And then NBA, I've got the Applebee's 2 for 20, Jaylen Brown Celtics 20 points, Brandon Ingram of the Pelicans 20 points plus 100. Wendy's 4 for 4, Drew Holiday Celtics 4 rebounds, Derek White Celtics 4 assists, CJ McCollum Pelicans 4 assists, and then De'Aaron Fox of the Kings 4 assists. And then the long shot, what was it? The Long John Silver long shot 4 threes. We've got Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown of the
I don't know why that's funny.
For 3 threes, and then Brandon Ingram of the Pelicans 3 threes plus 37.50.
It's no Herb Jones,
good.
but it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing listening to you ladder like BI's threes and Ryan laddering Williamson and Herb Jones and I have Valanciunas. We need like 800 points in this game. We need a lot of points in this
Thankfully,
game.
we're going to get it. We got this. All right.
Yeah.
So to recap, I have a decent sized card. I'll start with NFL, where I only have 2 kind of plays. I took Joe Mixon receptions and I took his receiving yards. And it's essentially split a unit on it, but I put a little extra on receiving yards since it had a little bit more juice to it. Going over to NBA, in the Indiana and Boston game, I laddered the spread. So I took, and I kind of just picked numbers.
It's actually the total. You laddered the total.
What did I say? Oh, I said
the
spread.
Yeah, it's okay. Sports betting's hard. You'll get used to it eventually.
Yeah. So I laddered the total. You don't necessarily even have to stick with my numbers. There wasn't like a specific hard cap as to why it shows those numbers. It just seemed pretty to do something around 250 and do something around 260. So that's as official as I'll say it. But I did 250.5 and I did 259.5 and I did 0.7 on the smaller one. I did 0.3 units on the larger one. So 1 unit risk total there. I then went to Drew Holiday. I took him over 11.5 rebounds plus assists, and I sprinkled on his double-double. Then I finish off the night with my man who will live in infamy after this day, Herbert Jones. I took him for over 9.5 points, then I sprinkled him to score 15. And then my final play of the night was my Zion Williamson ladder, where I took his over 24.5 points, and then I sprinkled on 30 and 35 as well. And that will wrap us up. We are going to get threatened probably to death for going over on this show, but man, I had some fun. We also had that parlay, which we'll share in the Discord. This is a fun show, so we enjoy being here. We enjoy you guys watching, and thanks to Sleeper Picks for sponsoring, and we will see you next Monday.